I found out about you after I started using Otter, so that was exciting. And
Oh, you were using Otter.
yeah. I'm part of a variety of large projects, so we use Otter to transcribe and summarize the meetings. And it's a good product. I really like it. And I'm excited because I think we have a bunch of things in common. I also came to U of A from Stanford. I'm also a long distance runner like you are. I may be in a different elite class than you, but we're still share a hobby. And most importantly, I work on natural language processing just like you are. So for me, it's super exciting when I see a successful business that uses natural language processing as the key technology. So it's super exciting to me.
Awesome, awesome. Great to meet you.
I think I'm super excited about this chat. I think we can chat for a long time about natural language processing and running in the Bay Area.
What's your research?
I work in natural language processing. I'm basically trying right now to look at next generation large language model architectures because I think that's a longer discussion. But the short story is I think we sort of reached the end of the scaling law and we're stuck with a bunch of massive limitations in LLMs, like lack of explainability mostly, and also power usage and so on. And I'm trying to think about neurosymbolic architectures that are improving on this. So I can spend days discussing this, but the idea is I think we lost some of the good old-fashioned AI with LLMs. And I'm trying to bring it in a robust way that fits nicely with LLMs so everything gets better. But this is not about me. This is about you. So I want to be respectful of your time. So if you don't mind, I'll start with the questions and we'll see how far we get.
Yeah, okay. Awesome. Yeah, let's
So the
start.
first question is, why did you decide to attend the University of Arizona?
It was a long time ago. 1991, I was graduating from college in China. I went to, Peking University studying computer science. I want to apply to graduate schools in the US. But applied to a bunch of schools, US and Canada. Um, and I was admitted to a few schools. Um, but University of Arizona was the only one who gave me a really good, nice scholarship.
Hmm.
Um, so so I decided to take that offer, and flew all the way to Arizona. That's to be, actually that was the first time I even uh, rode in an airplane. Uh,
Wow.
was when I came from Beijing, I forgot where, probably San Francisco, and then transferred to flew to Tucson. Um, and I was super grateful that they gave me that scholarship. Otherwise, I in my pocket I had a few $100s at that time. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to afford uh,
Yeah.
the tuition and all the living cost. So you know, I'm super grateful I got this opportunity. Uh,
Yeah.
that's
That's
why. That's
yet
why.
another thing we have in common. I also came to the US with a few $100s in my pocket.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. So I have a lot of gratitude. I mean, this is start of my American dream. Um, so the uh, it's 91, right? That's 35 years ago, right? 35. So a
mhm.
long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, it's a long story, actually. They gave me a teaching assistantship. Although to be honest, I wasn't very qualified because I'm qualified in terms of the technical skills, but I don't think I was qualified in terms of my language skills.
Yeah.
I passed TOEFL and GRE and all that, but my spoken language wasn't very good. So when I was just to share the story, I got a lot of complaints from the student when I was doing my TA session because my English was so bad. Um, and so I still feel bad that the students felt that they couldn't understand my English. Um,
Uh,
and but again, yeah, they later changed my job to a lab assistant. So then I don't have to um, host a TA session. Um, but they continue to fund me um, and help me finish my master's degree at the U of A.
Yeah, I'm sure
So,
your technical chops were amazing. All the people I met from taking universities are almost superhuman in their technical chops.
oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I work with a professor, and I think he was at that time the chair, Professor Rolf Greifswald. I don't
Oh
know if
yeah,
I don't know
that's
if you
right.
remember. He
Yeah.
created the Icon programming language.
Hmm.
So I worked pretty closely with him, and also one of his PhD students. I work on some projects there, and I took classes from Woody Member, the algorithm professor.
Hmm.
He wrote the book about. He wrote an algorithm book. It's an inductive approach. I think that's the title of the book. He later joined Google and became very prominent VP in Google.
Mm.
Um, the also remember Andrew. I forgot his last name. He was in parallel computing. I think he wrote a book about parallel computing. But all the professors I knew at that time already all left or retired, and
Yeah,
so it's a
yeah, they all
completely
retired, I
new
think.
set of faculty members.
Yeah, by now I think 60% of our department is AI right now. So it's a
I see.
whole new generation of people.
Okay,
So who
that's
was,
great.
now that we're talking about faculty, who was the your favorite faculty member when you were here?
I think, as I mentioned, I remember clearly Professor Rolf Greifswald. I remember Andrew. Um, yeah, those are the few people I have a, a good memory of. Uh, it's it's actually, that I just share another story. The I hold Tucson very dear to my heart because actually I met my wife at
Wow.
Tucson, and she was a undergrad student at that time, and we met and we dated, and eventually we got married. Um, so I really want to visit Tucson again sometime, and just
You should.
yeah.
It's one of the best running places in the world, in my opinion, if you're still
Yeah.
running.
When did you go to Tucson?
I came much later. I arrived in 2013.
2013. Okay, then you've been
So
there 13 years.
yeah,
Um, yeah, a lot has changed probably, but definitely want to visit Tucson. Together with my wife and
you
just
should.
yeah.
Yeah, you should come. Would love to have you. Sal and Martin is organizing an alumni event. We can run Sabino Canyon together like we did
Oh,
sometimes.
yeah, yeah. At that time, I wasn't running yet, so uh, I only started running 7 years ago.
Hmm. Yeah.
So you asked me what's the favorite memory? That definitely,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
meeting my wife would be my favorite memory. And of course, I mean, this is the my first stop in America. This is the
Hmm.
very beginning of my American dream. So um,
Yeah, that's a big one.
I definitely feel super grateful for that opportunity.
can you say a few words about your current position at Otter.ai and what excites you about it?
Yeah, I'm a co-founder CEO of Otter.ai. We started 10 years ago, 2016, even before AI became a household buzzword.
Mm-hmm.
The reason we started it is because we saw that we all talk so much, but most of the voice data was all lost. Um, and there's tremendous, if you look at the human history, right? People have been talking to each other for hundreds, thousands of years, but almost all the voice data was lost.
Mm-hmm.
Audio recorder was only invented by Thomas Edison, I think in 1877 or 87. But even after that, only a tiny, tiny fraction of the voice data was captured. So um, um, our dream was like to capture all the voice data in the world and then transcribe everything, index everything, and we can analyze everything, extract insights, and help people live better life and for professionals do their job better. So that's why we created the company. We actually build our own speech recognition technologies. You try to Otter, so all that transcription was generated by our own models. Has high accuracy, had handle noise, handle accent really well. So been growing a lot. We actually created the AI meeting assistant category. We're the first one on the market. We're the biggest one. We have more than 35 million users now.
Wow.
Yeah, revenue-wise, we're over $100 million in annual recurring revenue. We continue to innovate. The Otter, we keep adding new AI features to it. It has AI summary. You can use AI chat to chat with your meeting contents, either one meeting or if you use Otter for all your meetings, could be hundreds of meetings. You can use Otter to look for AI chat, to look for information or summarize all my meetings the last month, right? Give me some insights, right? So professors can use it for research meetings. Enterprises, as a CEO of a startup, I use Otter every single day for all my meetings because I have so many meetings every day, and there are also meetings I couldn't go to. The Otter can give me the summary really fast, so I don't. Yeah, I can also skip some meetings because I'm just too busy. So we're actually effectively building a conversational knowledge engine now, not just an individual meeting node. We're talking about hundreds or thousands or millions of meetings in the knowledge base. And we're using AI to build a knowledge graph, understanding the projects your team are working on, the topics, trending topics people discuss, the problems, customers you work with, and also understand how people relate to each other. Most people didn't realize that in meetings people talk to each other. In enterprises, right? There are different departments: sales, marketing, product design, engineering. There's a lot of cross-functional collaboration. It's actually really interesting to understand who talked to whom about what topic and how often do they talk to each other, how ideas spread, how ideas propagate from one person to the other team. So all those are really interesting topics, and we're building a system to build that knowledge base, knowledge graph, and also it would use that to enable agentic workflows. Agentic workflows. We're mostly targeting enterprise use cases because, right, there are many different workflows in enterprises depending on the role of the person. It could be a salesperson, could be a marketing person, could be a recruiter, or product manager, right? Different people have different workflows and they use different tools. But the common activity they do is they all have meetings. They all have meetings. So by joining the meetings, Otter actually get all the insights, all the information about what people are working on. So that enabled Otter to build a super rich knowledge base, and then use that knowledge base to drive workflows. Like agents are getting so much more powerful now. And so that's why we say we're building the knowledge engine. The engine, it will use the knowledge base to drive workflows with agents.
You're preaching to the choir. I'm trying to contain my excitement because this relates very much with one of my research projects, but this is not about me, so I'll try to get this back to you. There is a big gap between being a grad student and founding a company in the Bay Area. How did you bridge it? How did you get to become a founder from a grad student?
Yeah, that's a good question. I didn't jump into a startup right away after I graduated. I later did my PhD at Stanford, and I worked in Google for 4 years. I led Google Map location platform back in 2006 to 2010. And that powered the Google mobile map that billions of people are using today. So I really like the impact we generated at that time. But I personally have a lot of crazy ideas. I don't feel like I can stay in a large corporation for too long because I may just have crazy ideas that the large enterprise don't like. So I decided to quit Google in 2010. I had a good job at that time, but I like to do something more entrepreneurial. So I quit and started to do startups. So before Otter, I built another startup, built a mobile startup, and it went pretty well, and it was successfully acquired. And a couple of years later, with my co-founder, I started Otter. Otter now it's even 100 times, 1,000 times more interesting than my first startup, because we're handling this much bigger problem and much bigger opportunity.
Yeah, thank you. What advice would you give a student that sort of follows your path, both in terms of being hired by Otter or a similar company or starting their own?
I think, if you have such a urging a passion or desire to build something new, you can try to build something new. But I think for most people, it's really hard without any work experience. There are always exceptions, right? Mark Zuckerberg did that when he was in college. Jerry Yang did that. So there are always exceptions. But for most people, I would recommend for new grads to join a startup first, join a startup first, um, and work there for a few years to um, gain some work experience, see how a business operates, see how a startup operates, and also meet some people, so that could be potentially your co-founder, um, and also you know build a social network, a professional network. Obviously, Silicon Valley would be the best place to build a startup. Um, yeah. So yeah, I would recommend working in a startup. I don't recommend going to a large company. They're too boring. Unless it's a very good team. Google DeepMind team will be interesting. But a lot of other Google departments are not very interesting. The Google today is so much different than the 20 years ago when I was still there. It's become very bureaucratic already. So I don't recommend going to large companies unless it's a really interesting AI team.
Yeah,
Startup will be more interesting.
I completely agree. I'm trying to be careful with the time here, so maybe one more question. What technical and other skills would you require to a person you're hiring at Otter right now?
Well, definitely in really strong CS skills, right? Your understanding of systems is important. Um, Algorithms. A lot of simple coding can be done by AI coding tools now, but system design, architecture design, still take a lot of training and experience. So that's the skill that actually AI coding tool hasn't replaced yet. And well, for new students, I think a few things, and also both technical skills and non-technical skills. For non-technical skills, we look for people who have deep curiosity about how things work. You're not just getting a job, and hopefully you do something you are deeply interested in, and you want to learn more things. Don't just think, oh, I'm just collecting a paycheck. You are intrinsically interested and curious about the problems you're working on. Otherwise, it's going to be a torture. I have to work here 8 hours a day. Hopefully, if you don't enjoy it, it's torture. So definitely you want to look for something that you are truly interested in. Although sometimes you don't always have choice. There's job market challenge as well. Sometimes you have to take a job that you don't fully like, but you should still get the most out of it. Can you use that job to learn good skills? So learning skills, curiosity is super important.
Yeah, thank you. This is a wonderful answer. And I promised I will only keep you for half an hour, so I'll let you go. But if you come to Tucson, and I hope you come, please ping me, and I would love to do anything from a run to coffee to discussing research, which we can do for days. And yeah, but thank you. I'm very grateful for this. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.